Hey movie nights, it's showtime! It's been a while since I released a video. That's because my original computer laptop kind of broke. And I'm currently using a really old temporary computer. So yeah, hopefully I can raise enough money to buy a new computer so I can release more videos with better quality. This is so old you can hear the fan in the background, so I apologize for that. Anyway, today is video 1 of how to draw a Discord. So yeah, so we'll call this how to draw a Discord part 1. Okay, so let's get started. So you're gonna first start with a circle. Now, you don't have to, but personally I prefer to draw reference lines. Now, the reason I'm drawing it instead of straight on to the side is because Discord never, usually when animated, he never is actually facing forward, he's usually looking to the side. So we're gonna draw him looking to the left. So, yep, so here's some of the reference lines. Okay. Now, so there's the basic head. Now we're gonna draw an ellipse or an oval, whichever you want to call it, underneath it, a little off to the side of his face. So it's gonna be on the left side of the reference curve. So not too far now. It's just gonna be slightly underneath the head. Okay. Now Discord has large eyes. So we're gonna draw 2 big ovals. They pretty much take up his whole face. So we're gonna draw on this side now. Now because he's looking off a little to the side, one oval is gonna be a little slightly smaller and skinnier. Now, there's one thing about Discord is that he's not perfectly symmetrical, so sorry Death the Kid, if you're watching this, you better turn away, because this is not symmetrical. Blah, I'm such a geek. So one eye tends to be smaller while the other pupil is bigger. So why not we make the left side smaller and the right side bigger? So we're going to draw another oval within the oval. So we're going to draw a small one. And then we're going to draw the highlight, which is like a little circle, just by connecting the line together, making a circle. And then we'll make the other one. So this one's going to be bigger. We're going to make a bigger oval within the oval. So, yep. And then we're going to do the same thing and add the highlight. See, it already is starting to look like Discord. Although mine's kind of looking more like a derpy Discord. Okay. Now, his face, because his eyes take up a majority of his face, his cheeks are gonna wrap around his eyes. They're gonna connect to his lips of his snout. So what you do, you're going to start at the bottom oval, and you're just gonna lightly curve and connect to the circle. You're gonna do the same on this side. Discord's snout is very thin in the middle, so that's why you want to arch it. And then back up on the arch where the circle connects, you're going to continue from there and round it off to make his cheek, or maybe jawline. Do the same for this side. Now for the left side, because he's looking off to the side, it's not going to be as big of a space between the eye and the cheek, the end of his face. So it's going to be a little closer. So like that. So now we got the basic structure of his face. Now, Now the way I draw Discord, I draw his nose a little different from the show. If you look at his nose in the show, it's a bit like a kind of like a G, or like that. The way I like to draw it, I like to draw it more like an actual like nostril, like a dragon nostril, where it's like a little mound and it connects, kind of like that. So I'm showing you how this is how I'm gonna do it. Although you can do it whichever way you want. Discord's not perfect, so yeah. No, so don't be afraid also if you mess up on Discord. As I just said, he isn't perfect. So it's cool to draw him a different style, more chaotic in whichever way you want to do it. He is crazy, so. So let's start. Now, where you left off right here from his snout, on the top of this oval or eclipse, you're gonna draw a line, the nostril, pointed up, and then you're going to round it. And then you're going to connect the bottom of the line and connect it to the top like that. A little round, so it looks like a nostril. Now, you're going to do the same facing the opposite direction. Just a little space between the two. Just do the same thing. It pretty much looks like a bro hoof. So just like that. Now, Discord's lip actually points upwards. It goes down and points up. Because a lot of the times he's grinning. So you're going to continue lightly from the arch where the nostril connects, go over the oval, and then about midway you're going to start curving it upwards, making his lip. And now, I should have probably mentioned this in the beginning, but we're going to draw him grinning. So, yes. So now, what you're going to do, you're going to go up and then down and connect the line with the bottom of the oval. So just follow the line from the oval. Then you go up. Now when Discord smiles, his smile actually sticks out of his face. So you're going to draw it a little outside where his other part of his face is. But we'll show you how to do that in a minute. Okay. So now what you're going to do, you're going to draw the bottom of his lip. So draw an arch, again, small arch, unless you want to draw him grinning really big, then you can draw it a little bigger. You can draw an arch facing that way. And now, just like the bottom of this lip, you're gonna curve it. Like that. Then you're going to go down. You're going to curve it so you can connect it back to the top lip. Like this. Now you can either go either or, you can go like this. You know, you can go like this and connect it. Or you can go make an arch to connect and follow around with the other lip. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna arch. Now, because this is sticking out, what you're gonna do, you're gonna draw a little... Actually, I don't really know what you're gonna call it, what the actual term is. Not a dimple, at least not that I think of. So, this solves the problem, so it shows like his smile like really big. So it'll also pretty much connect his whole face together by doing that. See? Like that. Now, how are you going to draw the tree? That's a good question. So now we're going to go back to his grinning. What I like to do, I like to draw about a little past halfway, probably like a quarter, like 3/4 of his mouth will have teeth, while his other lip will have his big fang, which we'll draw in just a second. So we're going to start from here, like pretty much like beneath where the nostril ends, on the side. You're going to go halfway, and you're going to go diagonal in. And then we reached about the point where his snout starts right here, where it ends in the bottom. You're going to then go out, diagonal out, connect to his bottom lip. And now, some people like to draw a straight line for T because Discord has fangs when he smiles usually. I like to draw him with fangs, so I make the line jagged like that. Now you don't have to connect it, but if you want to, you can. You can connect the line together and make one long, jagged, or straight line. So there's his smile. Now his fang. You can't forget about that snaggletooth. Now just before the lip ends, you're gonna go down and start the snaggletooth. Pretty much where it arches right here. Like a continuing. So you're gonna make an arch. He has a pretty big snaggletooth. So you're gonna go like that. And then you're gonna draw it where it connects to the teeth. So when you draw it back in, it's going to connect to his other teeth. Like that. Actually, let me try that again. I think it's actually I take that back. Let's go back and start. This is probably easier. Start from this one, where his teeth is, and curve it. And curve inward, like that. There you go. That's probably better and easier to do. So there's his snaggletooth. Can't forget that. Now let's see where to go. Now we're going to draw his ears. Now you can start slightly above the eye. And now Discord's ears are floppy and usually point either down or up. So I'm going to draw them where they're tilted in between from up and horizontal. So it's fat in the beginning, this portion of the ear that connects. So you can draw a little bump, and you're going to curve like a wave up. And then you're going to go down in one long arch. But make sure you don't make it too skinny unless you want to. He does have rather big ears. You're going to go all the way up again to make his first ear. You're going to do the same on his other side. Make the bump, curve up. Now this side you want to make it slightly smaller, since it is faced away from us. So curve, face up, and one long curve back. Now for the ears, you're going to draw one line again and connect to the bottom portion of the ear. Not the top, the bottom portion. So like this. So right now it looks like a very young Discord. So, because we haven't added the hair, the other portions of it yet. Now, we're going to start with the horns. Now, different people have different takes on his horns, and I'm going to show you how I do it. When I draw his goat horn, I like to start with a circle right here. Like a pretty good sized circle, pretty much as wide as his eye. And then starting from there, I go up the circle, or ellipse. You're gonna curve like that. And then you're gonna wave, you're gonna have a little wave. And continue making a bump like that. And you're gonna repeat. Do it again. Now, Discord horn actually has a slight curl at the end, where it kind of curves either outwards or inwards depending. You can choose. I'm going to do it where it curves slightly inwards. So you're going to add it right there, make the tip. Now you're going to go back down to the base. You're going to follow the other ear, or other horn, where it curves. You're going to do it again, but make sure when you make the bump, it's not as thick as this one. You do want to make it slightly smaller. And you're going to repeat the same, make the bump. And then you're going to connect it where the hooks. like that. Now, Discord's horns, you have the lines, they all connect. You can make the lines between the horns where they are going inwards, like that. And you also, in the middle of each horn, or of the horn, a section of the horn, he has two lines that are very close to each other. Like that. Maybe draw another one right here if you wanted to. Or two. It all depends on you. So now you have his goat horn. Now you can make it as big or you can make it smaller depending on what you want to do. I usually go for a medium size, either the size of his ear or bigger. So now we're going to draw his deer antler. So the back of it will be one straight line. Now I usually like to start out where the reference curve ends. So you're gonna straight. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna continue that down to make the base of the antler. So it'll look like one large spike or horn sticking out. Now what you're going to do, because it is a deer antler, it has the multiple branches. What I like to do, I like to add a horn, or a part of the horn, a little branch that sticks out, which curves like the top of the horn, or antler, just like the top. And then the rest of it will be in the opposite direction, pointing towards them. So we'll start from the bottom. So have that going up. And this one will go up too. And then this one will curve too. Now you can do whatever you like, because a lot of people have different styles of drawing horns. This is like my basic style, how I draw it. So that's like his basic horn. So now we have the basic Discord head. We are going to add the hairpiece now. So we're going to add his eyes and his goatee. Discord needs that goatee. So we'll go with the goatee so we can finish up the bottom. So now what you're going to do, you're going to start with an arch going in, and you're going to do it within the center of his lip, of his bottom lip. So in, I'm going to create a spike like that, like, yep. And then you're going to do it again. Now if you have your own style of drawing hair, that's perfectly fine, you can do the same way. Now, like, I know some people like to draw his goatee where it's like this is the lip, and then they like to draw it like where it's kind of like a tail. They add little, they just, with little lines, they make it more like fur sticking out. I like to draw it where it is like this, so where it's a little more scruffy. So, and then this side will be opposite. Now you don't want to make them perfectly equal, so you want to add them where they are going off at different spots. So like this one, now it'll curve down, start here, and then draw the final bottom right there. So there's his goatee. Now you don't have to draw a part where it connects, that's up to you if you want to draw like little spikes to make it show like it's connected, but in the show they usually don't show that unless it's from behind or beneath, so I'm doing it the way where it's like normally, but you can do your own take on it, which is fine. So, yep. Like that. Now with his eyebrows, he has big bushy eyebrows. Discord's very expressive, and that's a trait they put on Discord so they can show like his sarcasm and his chaoticness. So we're going to draw the first one. So you're going to create an arch just above the eye. You can actually cut in between the eye. Even if the eye ends here, you can cut right here. This is covers his eyes. You go down, and you create that spike, the first spike of his eyebrow. And then off the other end, you're going to draw down, because his eyebrow is a little past his eye. Then you're going to go up and create the first hair sticking out. And then you're going to make another one, and another one. And you're going to make them bigger each time, so it's big and bushy. You're going to do the same to the other side. Just like that. Now, Discord also has these lines under his eyes. So what you're going to do, you're going to go down the eye. You go down along with the arch, and continue going down, and then make the line under his eye. I don't know if it's a bag under his eye, or if it's just... I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, but you're gonna go down and make the line below his eye, which follows the shape of his eye. So, yeah. So now we're going to... we'll draw in his neck. You're gonna go from where his chin ends, not his chin, his cheek or his jawline ends, and you can draw the curve, his long neck, kind of like a giraffe or a serpent. And then you follow the circle, and you can go curving along with it. Now you're gonna draw in his mane. Some people like to start his mane a little higher on his head. I usually like to do it right behind the ear. So what you're going to do, you're going to draw a line out, and you're going to make an arch like you're following the neck. Now Discord actually has, his mane's not like one full thing. He does have little parts that are like clipped. So what you're going to do, at whatever point of his mane you'd like to put it in, you can draw lines going inward, like the chunks of him missing. And then you could do one down here if you like. So yeah, so now we have our basic Discord. Now we are going to darken the lines.
A little glass of water, please. A fresh pressed hanky if I sneeze. Some tea with honey from the bees. Whenever you can brew it.
I'll get your tea.
And while I get a little rest, a teeny tiny small request. Some codfish oil for my chest, poured from a crystal cruet.
A crystal cruet?
My goodness, I'm a nincompoop because I fear I got the croup. I need a vat of pumpkin soup and skulls made out of zinnias. Did I say zinnias? I meant silk or something shiny of that ilk. And then I'll need some nice warm milk and pastry from that zinnia. And since my stomach's feeling crummy, why not give my aching tummy something soothing, something yummy piled up with noodles? Add a slice of homemade rye with stacks of Swiss way up high. Served to a side of sweet mince pie, more basil, I need noodles.
Anything else?
I'll be grateful for your charity until the bitter end, because I've heard that tenderness is what you lend an ailing friend. Tenderness, isn't that right, friend?
Right, but...
So, who's ready for my big reprise? I'd like that glass of water, please. A magic spell to cure disease. A firm gesundtruff when I sneeze. A fresh bouquet of roses. Some lozenges will soon appease my wheezing when I start to sneeze. A wig to keep me from the breeze. And blankets for my toes. Take tweezers out of my valise and then massage my knobby knees. A bowl of peas, some extra cheese. A couple with a Pekingese. A singing harp whose name Louise. A goat on skis. A new trapeze. And more and more and more and more of these. And just because I oughta make sure I'm drinking in the right amount of fluids day and night. I wish I may, I wish I might have just one little thing. Oh, would you please finally bring me that tiny glass of water?
And there you have it! Discord, the king of chaos. The next video for how to draw ponies will be how to draw Discord's body. If you would like me to teach you how to draw another character, please leave a comment below. If you like this video, give it a big like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to help me get a new computer and new computer programs to make more drawing videos or Scooby Plays or other fun videos like animations or voice acting, please click the donate link below. Every penny helps and is very much appreciated. Well, thanks for watching. Long live the movie nights!